world of pediatrics has changed incredibly over the last 10 years. Managed healthcare has meant tight schedules and a revolving door of healthcare professionals. Some kids will go through their whole lives without ever seeing the same doctor twice. It's a development for pediatrics that I don't like, but we're beginning to do something about it. I'm going to introduce you to a program I created that brings children, parents, and professionals back together in a whole new way. It's a program that's spreading all across the country and the world. I call it Touchpoints.
When I began to learn about Touchpoints and embrace it, I felt like I had found my way home.
I love the Touchpoints philosophy because it just makes so much sense.
Then we met Dr. Brazelton, and he introduced us to Touchpoints, and we thought, boy, do the children of Harlem, the infants of Harlem, need this program.
With Touchpoints, I can do everything that I've been striving to do in 20 years of pediatrics and bring it to a level well beyond what I've ever expected to be able to do.
Dr. Dan Miner is in private practice on Long Island.
Touchpoints is an approach which allows providers to form a relationship with the parents around the welfare of the child to support that child's health and emotional and behavioral development. I can use the language of their child and help interpret what the behavior is, but it takes us working together to find out what's going on.
Well, hello. How are you?
There are two parts to Touchpoints. The first part is Dr. Brazelton's map of development.
I love the way he reaches over and grabs you for security.
Just before each big spurt in development, there's a period when the child falls apart, the parents fall apart with them, and it makes a vulnerable opportunity for a provider or a child care person or anybody that's trying to interact with the parents to get into that system, explain that regression is a powerful force for progress. And then when the progress occurs, the parent says, oh, I know what I'm doing.
The moment a family walks into a clinic, I want them to feel welcomed, like we're almost a member of their family.
Touchpoints isn't only for doctors, but for all healthcare professionals.
I think a team approach is everything, including the person who answers the phone and makes the first contact with someone. So I think staff are almost even more important than the physician in preparing that family to have a relationship with you.
Touchpoints has incredible potential. It can change the way we practice medicine.
What is unique about doing this work, using the Touchpoints philosophy, is you're right there with the family. You're not separate. In our clinic, because most of our patients are mostly Spanish-speaking, up to 70% come in uninsured, no health insurance, have never negotiated the healthcare system that already exists with lots of services available. Our whole clinic works together to partner with families around every step of the way. In Western medicine, the model is a deficit model. What's wrong with this family? How am I going to help them? How am I going to fix this? And in Touchpoints, I'm still a medical expert, but that parent is the expert on that child. And so I walk in the room, we're already working side by side together.
How are you today?
My work is to partner with them and problem solve with them. It's really different.
Pero soy la pediatra aquí, and Irma is going to speak for me.
Families are a lot more ready to hear information once they know you and trust you a little bit. And so in Touchpoints, we work really hard and really fast to get in there and establish that rapport. You use what is the most important and pressing for that parent right there. You use the behavior of the child and the magic of that child's behavior and all the incredible things that they can do, and use their story to connect, because that's what unites you right there.
So the first time it happened, she fell straight on her face. So, and now it's every time she just barely touches herself, and like she'll hit something.
It comes right back up again.
And you can even feel the little bump.
Okay, you want the barriers out of the way so that you can get on to the business at hand, which is keeping their child healthy and growing, and helping that parent grow with their child.
What we're trying to do is to introduce a whole change in the way we look at parents and children. I call it changing the paradigm, because we're all taught so well in medical school and in social work school and psychology school to look at the failures.
She's beautiful.
It's Bea.
Yeah. She looks like both of you.
What we're trying to do is change it to a positive model in which we look at all the good things the parent is doing. And of course, the most powerful way of looking for good things is through the child. Touchpoints can work for child care environments as well. It's natural for passionate adults to be in competition with each other. They both care about the same child.
The biggest change that we've seen is the enhancement of that relationship with the parents and the feeling of the professional understanding their role better and enabling them to partner with the parent.
Touchpoints can give parents and caregiver a common language.
It gives them a chance to really come together and form a partnership around the well-being of that child and helping that child and that family move forward.
Touchpoints can reach far beyond the doctor's office or clinic to the community itself. And that, in the end, is what we all are after.
The wonderful thing about Touchpoints is that it's not only going to teach us sort of these key areas and developmentally in children's lives, which we know sometimes parents really don't understand and don't know how to really use them to the advantage of the child, but it's also going to help us train the providers, folks who work with children and see parents, but also community people who come in contact with these parents all the time. So it's literally going to put a framework in place that says, what should the health professionals do? What should parents be doing? What should those of us who work with children be doing? And what should community people be doing to really make sure that all of our children in this area are growing up with the best possible odds of success?
Yes, look, my light goes up, all the way up.
We are increasingly becoming a country where community is becoming more and more obscure. People think that you could move to a nice community instead of creating a nice community, and that's a problem. And everybody began to say, well, where can I go so that my kids can grow up in a nice community? And they think you can just sort of plop kids down and go off about your business. Nice community comes from the interaction of young people with the adults in that environment. We think we can make a difference in this community, and in doing that, really serve as a model of how communities have to come back together with children as their central concern and central care.
In most towns these days, you go to a store and the people who work there won't be there next week. People don't know each other anymore. We do have to understand what we've lost and how we're going to meet our needs.
She's sleeping.
If the professional feels this change in themselves and feels good about themselves all over again and feels like this is what I went into it for, then they give that same feeling of success to parents, and parents begin to give it to their children. So maybe we'll raise a bunch of kids with self-esteem, with enough self-esteem to care about other people. Wouldn't that be exciting?